LAN Party gamers, this is going to be another vlog style sort of update to the house here, where if you recall when we did our server room rebuild, we put all these shelves up for all the storage of everything we use for the LAN parties, cables, monitors, extra parts for computers, etc. And we rebuilt all the server infrastructure, so we put in a legitimate rack with PowerEdge servers for the LAN, etc. And we basically wired up the house for Cat 5e. Well, that was last year, and so this year we're gonna looking like my parents might be moving back in. I know, sort of end of an era here for the LAN house, but don't feel so bad. We still have a LAN-a-thon coming up in March that we should be able to complete and have everybody have one last hurrah before that sort of goes away. But the garage is staying, so we'll still have our bi-weekly LANs in the garage, and our job today is going to be recabling the house for Cat 6. So if we ever want to go to 10 gig, we've got full copper core Cat 6, got a whole box of it here, and our job today is to disassemble the rack, move it downstairs, and then move all of this storage down into our office area and find different places for it. And so I'm moving my personal stuff from the master bedroom, because that's now theirs, into the two end bedrooms that we had as rentals, basically. So this is going to be a big day. I'm going to be doing a lot of cable runs. I got a couple SDL members coming over to help us out with that. And hopefully we'll be able to get most of that done today. We're going to be moving some furniture out of the office, and that is where the server rack is going to be. So right now I'm going to show you some place where most LAN party people never go, and it's because it's my day job, which is not anything to do with LAN. This is the office we have downstairs. It is literally cubicles, exactly what you'd think of as an office building. So basically the center area here, we don't have any staff in this area anymore. When we moved out of the office that we had rented, because why rent an office? We can just put in your home, right? We had more employees at the time, and we had 3 extra desks that needed filling. Well, we haven't had anybody filling those desks. We've been using them as, you know, stuff storage, making books, things like that. So we're going to be taking these 3 middle desks and ripping them out. We've already emptied out these big containers here for files, and basically put the server rack up against this wall and have conduit come down from this area here straight into the server rack from everywhere in the house, so that you'll basically have straight runs, no like couplers. I don't want to have switches running to switches like that. I want to have home runs from the garage, from each desk, and the house itself, to everybody be able to have access to these server rack from anywhere down here. So anyway, that's the plan today. So we're going to be getting some cabling done here. I'm going to be taking apart and shredding some of these desks, and maybe put them in the fire pit for the next LAN-a-thon, so we can have a big old bonfire celebrating. So stay tuned as we crawl through some attics, make some conduit. Right now I'm 3D printing some parts to get conduit connected to each other, and it should be a long day. Let's get started. For one of my first steps, I'm going to take this hole saw and go through this upstairs closet down into the office where the new server rack's location is, and then run conduit down there. Right now we've got a single line basically that feeds the office with internet from a Cat 6, and then an old coax line that feeds this room through the previous room down to the office for coax, back when we had a cable line down there. This is going to be ripped out entirely, and this is going to be used for our Wi-Fi connection, so we can have a Wi-Fi spot upstairs. But I need conduit ran through the floors, so we're going to use this big old saw and then run PVC between the floors to make it easier to pull cable down through. There we are. Well, I guess I'm making a trip to Lowe's. Alright, so with the new hole saw I was able to get through the bottom floor of this closet, but the friggin' wall stud is half of the hole. So I'm gonna have to find a way to try to shape it to get more cables through this hole, because the server rack is basically gonna be right down there, straight through. So I was hoping that this piece here lined up with this piece and there was 16 inches of gap here, but that is not the case, so we'll make do. Oh yeah. Well, this is going to wrap it up for day one. I know I didn't record a whole heck of a lot, but there was a lot of cleaning to be done because where all these desks were, we hadn't been able to clean properly, basically underneath them and whatnot. But the desk that was here is now here, and we were able to basically take this keyboard tray from the desk that we're destroying and paint it to be the same color as the desk here. We'll have a nice place for the keyboard tray to go underneath. Get this station all set up for our bookkeeper at work. And then the part that really matters is we got this conduit installed, which I'll show you where it ends up, but it goes into one of the closets of what used to be one of our rentals, and coming down is one of the Cat 6 cables going into this gigabit switch. For now, this is where the server rack will be though, so you can get a good idea of how much space we cleared up from before. Like, this was all desks and stuff. Hopefully we'll be able to get rid of more of these, either donate them or sell them, or hopefully put them on, or we've got them on Craigslist and whatnot. So that's pretty much it for in here. We were able to get that switch put back in place. So we did all the cabling work. We did a lot of conduit work today. So above these two bedrooms, we've got the attic, which is not, you can't really stand up there, but it's not that short. In this bigger bedroom is where that conduit pipe goes, and I need to buy a little bit more to go up to here. It's hard to see, but up here is where all the cables from the attic will be coming down, so the server rack will feed back up this direction to disperse Cat 6 throughout the house. And that yellow network cable that you see there will be the Wi-Fi connection, so we can specify, oh, the yellow one is PoE. So then we got another cable in here. So this hole here, not that one, that was a mistake. This hole here is a run, so we can do a Cat 6 run into this bedroom. And then we've got a Cat 5e run here next to the closet, so we can actually do a couple of different computers, or maybe like a smart screen or something like that, as well as my desk, because this is where I'll be for my computer. So Cat 6 directly home run all the way down to the master switch in the office. And here is where my personal rig is. I've got my widescreen 34-inch there. We've got my G15. My standard monitor there, and then above the hutch is the actual webcam in my Sliger Cerberus case. So we went ahead and put a network jack behind this desk with Cat 6, and once all the servers are up and running, I should get pretty good signal, because I'm right above the server rack, basically, right across the hall from that network drop with the conduit in the other room. We're above the beer fridge here, and this is where we're going to try to punch through to that bedroom that we put that conduit in. And I'm going to take the Sawzall and cut a nice big square so I can see if we can see where we drilled into that other room now. So fingers crossed, we'll be able to see. We cut out this hole. It's about 1 foot by about 6 inches, or slightly less than. And inside here, it's hard to see, but this is an area we're calling the void. And there's not much to see in here, but basically, you see this little light right there? That's from the bedroom upstairs. Alright, so here's the conduit, and what we're going to try to do is get it to go and hit that light. Alright, yeah, I've cleared this. And we're feeding it into the void. Okay, so as you saw from the void that we're doing our PVC run through for the pipe, it's going to be really hard to get it around the corner and into the bedroom. So what we figured out is we're going to have this long one going through the void towards the room, but we can't go around this big duct. So what we're going to do is have from the room coming in, we're going to have it connect to this threaded adapter and screw them together from the room. So I'm going to hold one piece while my buddy sort of screws it in from the room, and as we screw them together, they're going to tighten up and shrink, and that's going to be our conduit run. It's going to have two 45-degree angles and then come right out into the garage. Wow. So there it is. All the way down there and then all the way into the room. Alright, so what I did was I cut the tube that was coming into this bedroom off entirely and made a little notch in the bottom of it. Then I screwed it in place into the base of this wall and then re-spackled around it with a little divot that goes down into where the tacking is for the carpet. Today we're going to be fishing cable from the conduit that we ran early, like Sunday, and then around the room, and then down into this spot that we just finished last night. So we've got a block there that when we take off, it's got a channel drilled through it that lets it go into the wall and straight down, and then it'll go around the room. So in order to do that, we've got a big old thing of twine here, which we'll use as a pull string, and some Cat 6, which we'll use to feed it through, and then we'll use the twine here to pull up any new lines that need to go through the conduit. So let's get stringing. What is feeding down from below is a coax, a Cat 6, and a twine, and up here, just pull them through. Bundle here of a coax, a Cat 6, and some twine, and we tried pushing it through this hole that we made yesterday, but it gets snagged when it makes the turn. So I've got this fish tape here, and I'm pushing it through, and it can make the turn just fine. This is 25 feet of fish tape, so on the other end, my dad's got the thing of twine. He's waiting for this to come through, and then he's going to tie the twine on the end. I'm going to pull it through, then we'll use that twine the other way to pull the rest of this cable through the hole, and then we're going to do it one more time after that. Alright, well now, it's hard to see, but it's coming through that pipe. 4 cables, 2 coax, just going up and over, and dropping down that way, and pretty soon this wall will be empty except for the Xerox, and we'll be able to get the cable run directly from the street. No extensions or anything like that. Now the plan is underneath the carpet here, there's room between the tack strip and the underneath of the wall here for these cables to lay pretty flat. So we're going to have these go down and then underneath the carpet all the way around the room. And I'm going to use some U-shaped nails and things like that to get them to lay flat all the way around the perimeter of the room, so as best I can. So hopefully that'll be that, and then I'll use this block here with a slit in it. Slowly but surely it's coming from this to right there in that gap all the way into, and you can barely see the last cable going into the wall where the conduit is picking it up. So when I'm all done, hopefully we shouldn't see any of it. And now with the baseboards added, or whatever, I guess these are baseboards, the only thing that you can tell where there's wires are, if you look, there's this box here that covers up, that I showed you earlier, and screwed into the wall, but that's going to be behind a desk, so I think this looks pretty clean. You wouldn't know that there was 2 Cat 6 and 2 coax lines running underneath these walls. We're going to be moving Big Red from down in the living room upstairs so we can do VR in my new private living room. Alright, so today we are moving all of this stuff, which belongs to the office, down into the office, and then that'll make room for the server rack to be sent down in a couple days, just to sort of clean space and make room for everything. Another thing that we're doing is we're moving all of the phones from the garage where the phone server is into our office here, along with some of the storage obviously from upstairs in the server room. So basically we have these pretty nice multi-line phones that use a server to control the voicemail system, and they all went around the house, over the eaves, getting sun damage, getting cut by gardeners, getting everything wrong with them. And there's no reason for them to go all the way from the garage around the house and into this room, through this hole in the wall, and then through these guys, and then all these cables going out to each individual desk, when we can just put the phone system at the base, on the base of the server rack, and then have the phone lines go out to each desk. So that's the plan. We're cutting cables from the outside of the house, and then getting rid of all this excess line that's all sun damaged and causing call drops and things like that. Okay, well, with everything out of the server room just about, except for little knickknacks here and there, it's time to take apart the servers. So, time to shut these babies down. The internet's already disconnected, and time to start moving these heavy-ass servers downstairs. Alright, so this is sort of before I started doing my cable management, and you can see everything's kind of everywhere up there, and let's see what it looks like after. Nice and neat. Everything's bundled together. Well, in Party Gamers, that's about it. The cables have been managed, the internet's back up, the server rack's downstairs, and just seeing the house without all the cables on the side when I come in, being able to have a place for when my parents do move back in so I can help them out. And it does mean kind of an end of an era, as plenty of you know that come to Lanathon. The last house Lanathon for a while is going to be the one in March, so make sure that you sign up, and we hope to see you there. And if you can't come to that, make sure you're subscribed here. We're almost at 1,000 subs, and it would mean a lot to have you there with us when we hit it. Having my own space here at the house, separate from the office, separate from where my parents are going to be, is important. I've got my bedroom, I've got my own personal living room, and you can't tell that there's 2 coaxial cables and 2 Cat 6 cables running around the base of the border, especially with all the furniture that's in there now. And that room will become sort of a VR space. It'll have a little living room for myself. And we're going to be doing more to the house. We're going to be expanding the house. We're going to be adding a wall, moving a wall back, going to add solar. So if you're interested in seeing house improvements and stuff like that we're going to be implementing, let me know in the comments below. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you find home improvement videos kind of interesting, if you find LAN party videos interesting, or you just like local coverage of San Diego events, feel free to give us a subscribe, hit that like button, and we appreciate you guys watching. Take care.